Good evening and welcome to the news roundup for Saturday the 3rd of June. Before we get into the news, please remember to like this video, share your views in the comments and share the video with your family and friends.
Teach them! Always make sure the message reach them!
Now for the news in detail. Gunmen reportedly engaged the police in a firefight in St. James, resulting in fatalities. The joint police-military team encountered heavy gunfire in the Spot Valley Barrett Town area. The security forces believed they had cornered a high-value target but were met with resistance from several wanted men. When the shooting subsided, it was discovered that 3 gunmen, including 2 of Jamaica's most wanted, were killed. One of the dead men has been identified as Nestor Zadu Gallimore. These men are believed to be responsible for at least 10 murders in the parish. Stocks and Securities Limited SSL, which has been embroiled in a fraud scandal, has failed in its attempt to overturn a Supreme Court injunction that prevents it from taking any action regarding its assets. The Court of Appeal rejected SSL's application for an extension of time to file an appeal against a decision in favor of the regulator, the Financial Services Commission, FSC. SSL and trustee Cadion Campbell are currently in a legal battle over Campbell's appointment as trustee of the company, which has implications for the management of the 50-year-old investment and brokerage firm. FSC obtained an interim injunction in April, blocking Campbell's appointment and restricting SSL from controlling its assets or dissolving its operations. The injunction will remain in place until the FSC's claim is resolved. The focus now turns to the Supreme Court hearing on July 3 regarding the FSC's lawsuit. The community of Roehampton in St. James was rocked by a triple killing on Friday night that occurred 2 days after a double murder. The shooting took place at a shop located in the same yard where 2 men were previously gunned down. All 5 victims killed in the community this week are believed to be cousins. During the latest incident, armed men arrived at the shop around 9:30 p.m. and opened fire on the people present. When the shooting subsided, 3 individuals were found suffering from gunshot wounds. They were later identified as Conroy Lawrence, 38 years old, Chevon Gordon, also known as Kong, who was a shopkeeper, and Carl Leslie Morris, 50 years old, also known as Shatter. Lawrence and Gordon were pronounced dead at the hospital, while Morris was admitted in serious condition, but later succumbed to his injuries. The double murder that occurred on Wednesday night involved Tavar Doman, 20 years old, and Linston Anderson, 23 years old, who were at home when armed men forcibly entered and shot them multiple times. Both victims were rushed to hospital but were pronounced dead. Jody Ann Jackson, the 28-year-old woman accused of orchestrating a deadly attack in Port Antonio, was remanded when she appeared in the Portland Parish Court. She is facing charges of 2 counts of murder and shooting. The victims, Shade Pink, 28 years old, and Keena James, 23 years old, were shot and killed at a gathering on May 23rd. The incident occurred when a car arrived at the location where a group of people were playing dominoes on Campbell Avenue. The intended target, Pink, was shot by a man who exited the vehicle, while James was also wounded and later succumbed to his injuries. Investigators believe that Pink was targeted due to a love triangle, and they allege that Jackson, who is also pregnant, drove the hired killer to the scene and identified Pink. The getaway vehicle was later seized in St. Mary. Jackson is scheduled to return to court on June 13th. 3 men were fatally shot at a shop in Frankfield, Clarendon on Friday night. The victims have been identified as Cesar Ricketts, a shopkeeper from Grantham District, Kelvin Anderson, also known as Tyler, a truck operator from Peckham District, and Delroy Facey, also known as Skengdon, a farmer from Belmont District. According to reports, at around 9:45 p.m., armed men arrived in a SUV and opened fire at the 3 men, and then fled the scene. The police were notified and found the victims with gunshot wounds upon arrival. The injured men were rushed to the Mapen Hospital, but were pronounced dead. Cecil Walters, a 67-year-old businessman from Hillview, Otria, St. Anne, has been charged with multiple offenses under the Sexual Offences Act. The charges include rape, buggery, unlawful detention, and assault occasioning actual bodily harm. The incident allegedly occurred on Monday, May 29, when Walters, who owns a guest house, reportedly entered the complainant's room and sexually assaulted her. The victim tried to escape but was struck in the face by Walters. The woman reported the incident to the police, who arrived at the scene and identified Walters as the perpetrator. He was subsequently arrested and charged. A court date for Walters is currently being arranged. The St. Ann police are pursuing promising leads in the investigation of the fatal shooting of a 90-year-old retiree in Brownstown, St. Ann. Kenneth Downer, a retired public health inspector, was killed at his residence in Huntley District despite cooperating with an intruder who demanded money. The incident occurred around 4:30 p.m. when an armed man entered through an open front door. After demanding money, a loud explosion was heard when Mr. Downer's helper went to search for cash in another room. Upon her return, she found Downer lying on the floor in a pool of blood. The Blue Lagoon in Portland has partially reopened after being closed for 9 months for renovations. The popular attraction was closed in August last year to carry out necessary work on the bathroom facilities and implement a proper management system. The reopening has been eagerly anticipated by both the business interest and the public. While it has partially reopened, full access to the facility will be available to the public starting from June 15th. In business, the new Krispy Kreme franchise in St. Andrew experienced a large turnout as it officially opened its doors. Customers lined up as early as 4 a.m. to be among the first 100 customers and have a chance to win prizes of donuts. Lisa Lake, the CEO of Restaurant Associates Limited, the local franchise holder, expressed excitement about the turnout with over 300 people counted. Krispy Kreme is the latest addition to Restaurant Associates' portfolio of brands, which includes Burger King, Popeyes, and Little Caesar. In the region, an overloaded vessel capsized near Haiti's southern coast, resulting in 1 fatality and the rescue of 14 individuals. 1 survivor is in critical condition, and authorities are still searching for an unknown number of missing people. The boat departed from an area along the Haiti-Dominican Republic border and was en route to Margot when it capsized. The boat was carrying 600 sacks of flour and more than 15 people, exceeding its capacity. Despite being advised against leaving by an inspector from Haiti's Maritime and Navigation Service, the captain proceeded with the journey. Heavy rains have been affecting the area, and poor weather conditions are expected to persist. And that is it for your news roundup for today. We would appreciate you liking this video, leaving a comment, and sharing the video with your family and friends. Have a good evening, and see you next time.
Thank you for watching. Like the video before you go. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. And remember to share the video with your friends and family. And browse the channel for more quality content. Until next time, walk good, my friends.
Teach them!